All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I'm so excited after a week off for South by Southwest. We're back. And we've got Coach Jayme Shiarla. I'm super excited. You guys, I met Coach Jayme at a coaching event, at a kind of networking coaching event, and I knew we were kindred spirits right away. She is just as passionate and excited about what she does as I am about what I do. I mean, like her her joy, her passion for people is infectious. You're around her and she is just you just want to know more. Who is this person? What is she up to? So Coach Jayme Shiarla is not only a coach that's going to help you get in shape and be fit. Oh wait, let's do this guy. We're going to share our screen, you guys. Let's look at her website really quick before we bring her in. Do. So let's see. She can not only help you get swole, y'all. She's going to help you change your mindset. Okay, changing your mindset is probably the biggest thing that you can do to make everything else better in your life. I know I personally have been really focused on this the last few months or so. I don't know about you guys. I have a tendency to catastrophize, and I've got these ways of thinking that at some point in my life were useful, right? Like when you go through your childhood stuff, whatever, you develop these winning ways, as they say in Landmark, and they served you at some point in your life. They had a purpose, but oftentimes as we get older, those things outlive their usefulness. And for any of you watching, if you're an entrepreneur, you know that every negative character quality you have ever had in your life is going to come bubbling up to the surface because of the stress, the fear, all of the things that we wrestle with as business owners when we get started. You know, how many of you watching have had to pull money out of your of a savings or your personal account to pay payroll because one of your clients didn't pay? How many of you have had to terminate an employee, somebody that you really like as a human being, but they're just not working out? These are things that stir up all kinds of emotions, unless you're a sociopath, I guess. And if you aren't grounded, if you aren't rooted in something that helps you stay focused, that stress and anxiety is going to burn you out, and your business is going to fail. And that's why, what is it, like 4 out of 5 businesses fail or something like that after the first couple of years? Don't be that guy. Okay, don't be that guy. Hire Coach Jayme Shiarla. All right. Without further ado, Miss Jayme.
Wow, what an amazing introduction.
Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. Coach Jayme, why don't you start by sharing a little bit with our viewers about, what got you into personal training, and then why did you kind of add this, mindset piece? What was the shift for you?
So super fun fact. Which actually is it when you're in hang on a moment.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't hear an echo on my end.
Okay. I can talk through it. It's really good.
Okay.
So I'm actually not a personal trainer. People confuse all the time because of CrossFit fitness, and so that's a lot of what I am the opposite.
Oh, what?
Right. Yes. I used to coach cheerleading. I coached special needs. I used to coach gymnastics. I coached, well, I wasn't a coach, but I was a Zumba instructor.
Okay.
I did do different things in fitness, but that was always more side hobby because I always loved sports and fitness.
Oh, see, I thought it was all kind of merged into one because you're freaking, your guns. That's why I was like, I've been doing yard work at our new house. I was like, I need to have my muscles out.
I was going to say, sure. You're looking jacked. I love it. But I do get mentally, if you will, because I do say that I believe a muscle in the gym. We need to train our brains. If we if we want weaken thought processes or not strengthen thought processes that are weak, then we just train it like we would a muscle gym. We have to show up every day. We have to kind of get comfortable, and we're going to feel sore and uncomfortable by doing things. So yes, I train.
I love it. Okay, so thank you for correcting me. My bad, y'all.
Totally good.
I can totally see you being a gymnast too. That makes and a cheerleader. Girl, did we live the same life? Are you sure we're not like sisters in another dimension or something? Because I grew up doing gymnastics. Literally, you guys. We might. What is it? Into the Spider-Verse? Okay, we're Earth 1268. We're sisters somewhere. Okay, so then tell me what it was that got you into this, the mind, like training of your mind. Like what got you passionate about that?
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of people have said this, and I think it's just none of us make it through life without adversity, right? And our personal testimony is usually why we end up creating a passion to go out and utilize our skills to the best of our ability. And I have a very diverse resume, personally and professionally.
Yeah.
Death, suicide. I've been in abusive relationships. I've worked through eating disorders. I had drugs and alcohol. Was in abusive relationships. Raped at one point. Came from a broken home. Lost friends. Murder, suicide, car accident.
Dang.
Professionally, coach gymnastics years, special needs, hair. Did hair. Was a massage therapist. Also worked chiropractor's office, massage therapist. Life insurance. Was one of the product company as a product consultant. Got stuff in network marketing, wage on the side. You name it. But I'm so grateful for that because I don't that textbook is ever going to be able to do the things that life does. So I like to say that I blessed to have taken hard knocks and the different things I had to learn, grow through. Obviously, I had a choice, but I naturally always had to be working away at myself, and there was even that. It was a week before I was 26 that I experienced a massive burnout because I had a reinvention. So I was put on bed rest for a week. Yes.
Ugh, that must have been awful.
Yes. So with that, it was because my identity was so involved in if I make more money, people will love me. If I help more people, I will be useful. People will care and acknowledge me back, correct me. All of those things. So fortunately, at a very learning age, I was forced to just kind of fade. And had a choice. Am I going to make money? This just go in the not right direction. Or use with this. And so kind of with being around more positive people, reading a lot of development books. Like at the time, Thomas was my two. Where it's like he was my shot roll. But in that reality, like pouring myself into gym is a coping mechanism. That now clicked where I'm like, okay, if I want to be different, I have to think different. I have to act different. I have to move different. So it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to show up. The more I keep practicing and training that, the stronger, more resilient I'm going to become. Which is what luckily in the midst of a lot of just unhealthy ways that I use the gym and alcohol and those vices as a coping mechanism, it was the very thing that had strengthened the habit for me to make that constant to working on my mental strength.
Well, and isn't it so amazing? God is so good. God is so good. I was reading, I don't remember what scripture I was reading, but it Jeremiah something where he's like, God has a plan for you and it is good. He has a plan to prosper you. He wants what is best for you. And I don't have to strive for that. I don't have to earn that. That is freely given to me. But in my mind, I dealt with a lot of the same stuff. Again, I feel like we had the same. Are you sure we didn't live in the same life? I'm actually celebrating 16 years sober this year, which is, actually in 2 days from now. And it is that, right? We have trauma. Oftentimes in our childhood, we have some kind of a trauma, or even in adulthood, and then we turn to things to try to numb the pain or turn away from it, right? I had, not an awesome childhood, not a terrible childhood, but then I was drugged and sexually assaulted in my early 20s, and it just went right? Mm-hmm. Because if you don't already have that stability for who you are, right? If my well-being is dependent on other people being happy with me, I'm screwed. I am absolutely screwed. I will never be happy, because you can never make people happy all of the time. I can't make myself happy all of the time, let alone trying to manipulate other people into being happy so that I can get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, so that is, I think that often we have to have some kind of catalyst that sets us off in a different direction. I love that. So tell us a little bit. Now I showed a little bit about a little bit of your website. Share a little bit about what it's like to work with you, and what do you do with people? How do you even get started? Is it just reading books and praying, or what is it? What do we do?
Absolutely not. I don't have any manipulate somebody to work with me, because this type of work is super deep.
Yeah.
I don't believe anybody's broken, and it's not my job to fix them. And so in that, it's you get me.
Wait, hold on. Can you say that again?
Nobody is broken. It's not my job to fix them.
Nobody is broken. Isn't that an interesting concept? Because how often do we hear people use language like that? I'm broken. I'm torn apart. Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No. We're good. But I think in that is that because a lot of times people even ask me, so you're like a therapist. No, absolutely not. I don't get me wrong. There's a time and a place for therapy, and I'm not like way, but what tends to happen is that you get a diagnosis of your behavior.
Oh, it becomes your identity. Oh, Jayme. Oh, that was literally one of the things, you can take that diagnosis on, and now that's who you are.
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
Unfortunately, had that happen at the young age of 13. Diagnosed depression, and 4 months in a 6-month time span, they tried 4 different antidepressants, and it's me, I'm the broken one. I'm depressed. This is why the way that it is.
I'm defective. Yep.
Yeah. And there was I'm drawing a blank name. He's here to office, but he's a happy scientist. He wrote a book, Happiness Advantage. Epic book. I even saw him speak in person, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But in his book, he talks about that. He goes, go to the doctor, and diagnose you as depressed. So when have they ever diagnosed you as happy? And so his kind of analogy is that depression is an emotion, not a diagnosis.
Wow.
Yeah, Sean Aker.
Yep, Sean Aker. Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
And so with all of that is that yes, I work with people who are quote unquote at this phase of burnout. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they're doing. All that type of stuff. That is one area that I work with people. The other though is like we're striving, keep hitting all of these accolades. They're getting all this success, but still seems like it's missing. And that's where I get to kind of the blind spot and help maybe what is. Because I think also what my biggest goal is working with is not anything. It's to help enhance the skills that they already have, so that they can have more of a voice to then serve a bigger purpose and help others.
Well, and that's what. Oh, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
I just have so much to say.
Oh, I know. Well, and it's so funny because I literally yesterday I had this moment, and it hit me that I have accomplished my goal of being out of the day-to-day operations of my business. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm out of the day-to-day bookkeeping. And now I get to just be a coach, a trainer, somebody. I teach my staff, I coach them. We do new business acquisition. That's my job, right? And it hit me that I accomplished my goal and I was still unhappy. And I was like, oh, I've got the wrong mind frame about this. I am focusing on what do I got to do? Rather than being like, oh my God, I have 5 staff. What? I have what? And so that's exactly what you're talking about. How, what do you think solidifies that in people? Do you think it's like the trauma? What do you think causes people to not be able to see things correctly?
There's a few different. I think one, obviously you mentioned already. So I'm a strong believer of, we're called not to conform to the ways of the world. The world tells us that power, and fame is what's going to make us the ones in control, the powerful ones. We are God, and that is when life is epic and we are succeeding. However, Jesus came to the world upside down, and really the main things that are going to bring the most fulfilled life is to love, to serve, and connect. And so that's why so many people will make all the money, they'll hit all these goals, and it's what I like to call the I'll be happy when.
Yes.
Where you're chasing this end result and don't meet that expectation is what you thought it was going to.
Yep.
You're now addicted to this drug success and to your next fix.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Bro. So it's like unhappiness becomes a habit.
Mm-hmm. Because we're chasing
or unfulfillment.
Because also think about it too. It's more from like a biblical perspective. Like we are never going to receive perfection on this side of eternity. So it's us innate thing. We're facing this temptation flesh, where it's like we want these to feel powerful and in control. And one of the things I want to mention, you reference scripture from Jeremiah, is that think about it. More in the Bible says that God promised us a happy life.
It doesn't.
He promised it to be good.
That's true. He also said we will have trials and tribulations and fight powers and principalities. And so it's almost like that if we can look at those things as iron sharpening iron, if we can look at those things as opportunities rather than problems, I mean, how much just does that change, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, just that's so simple. Okay, so hold on. I want to show this really quick. You guys, okay, if you're watching, when you're watching, look, on CoachJayme.com, you can book a 30-minute complimentary call to see what's up and see how you guys might work together. I'm already trying to figure out how to work something like this into my budget because, y'all, I need a mindset shift. Tell us about this boundaries course.
Yes. So I love talking about boundaries. We live in a world where I feel like that's what right now is everybody's like my boundaries. And it's great. The problem is everybody's saying not actually implementing.
No.
And part of that is because you ever had it like used a word in a sentence, somebody stops you. What does that word mean? And you only can define it by putting it into a sentence. Can't actually what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we tend to do with boundaries. And so no wonder we can't actually honor and to our boundaries. We don't actually know what a boundary is. So how can we properly define a boundary in our life if we don't properly define boundaries?
Yes.
So this is a course literally to take on your time. It's already pre-recorded modules, a worksheet that goes with it. And I take you through steps to not only understand what how to define in all different areas of your life. You get a call with me after chat through all those things. Have a sustainable boundary.
Well, and that's the thing. How often do we also talk about setting boundaries, but then it's uncomfortable, right? Like if we have to set boundaries with a loved one, particularly family member, spouse, whatever it is, they often don't really like that. And then we have to,
especially if they've gotten away with it for long, their response is not going to want to have to accept that. So you have to be confident in this boundary you're trying to set on these people closest to you, so you can be more consistent on implementing that boundary. People who are so used to break that boundary.
yeah. Well, and if you have people pleasing tendencies, it's the worst. It's the worst, because then you want to fold and you want to cave. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. No, it's not fine. No, it's not fine. And you know what? It's funny because I recently had to do this, and Coach Jayme, I had to do this. I'm gonna try to not give out any information so nobody can figure out who I'm talking about. But I had to set boundaries with a couple people who I adore, love very much. But having them in my life was creating more stress. And this isn't just, like, oh, somebody's being weird, right? Ben and I argue all the time, right? This is not the same. These were people that were in my life that were not able to do what they were in my life to do. I'm being so vague, you guys. And it took me, like, it was really like 3 months that these people needed to be cut loose. And I was just too afraid, and I kept trying, and maybe it's me. And if I just do it a little bit differently. And by the end, I was having a panic attack. I haven't had a panic attack in years and years, since like bad stuff happened. You know what I mean? And so I was having a full on anxiety attack. And I was like, God, what is this? Is this physiological? Oh, what do I got to do? And he's like, you know what you have to do, right? It was very clear that I knew that I needed to let these people go. And I was so afraid to do it. And as soon as I did, the anxiety attack went away. As soon as I did it. And it didn't feel good. I cried after. But then all the panic and fear went away.
Yeah.
And so when you're working with people and you're seeing these shifts start to change, right? They're starting to implement the things that you're talking about. They're starting to make changes in your life. What have you found is like the biggest stumbling block for people? Or is it just everybody's different?
I mean, it all kind of boils down to the same thing. One of the biggest that I would quote is the struggle, but that's also into my program. Is I don't put anybody for less than 3 months, and the reason being is I mean, think about it. Somebody sets a New Year's resolution, or goal. That within 3 weeks, something happens, and then they go back to default mode.
Yep.
So it's like we okay. So fun fact. You know how there's that phrase that says it takes 21 days to make a habit?
Yeah.
Have a habit?
Yeah.
False. It actually on average takes like 86.
What?
Yes. Because
why are they telling us it's only 21?
Because it was a marketing ploy. That's how they buy protein shakes. Yes. Which it is true. If you perfectly do something for 21 days, there's a pretty good indication that that's going to become a habit. But think about like say COVID is a great example. Is people were working from home. They couldn't even go anywhere. Everything fun were shut down, but liquor stores were open. I'm it was a long day of just virtual. I need a glass of wine. So then all of a sudden, weeks later, that glass of wine turns into a bottle of wine, and it ends up being 3 days a week wine, and slowly build over time.
Yeah.
So the biggest quote struggle, which to me actually excites me, and that's the main part of the mental training that I get to do, is I'm helping you unlearn a behavior or a habit, not just necessarily a system. We're reaching a new one. So it's like we reach that point around like people are like, high as a kite. The first, oh, this is great. This is great. And then when that tension of wanting to fall back into default mode happens, they're getting in their head, wanting to hold the things that do not serve them. So it's like it's that point of truly allowing yourself to get out of your head and stay cognizant enough in the moment to know how to bounce back from that thought process, rejection, habit, you name it.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of that sounds so much like getting sober, getting clean, getting right, or reverting. It goes both ways, right? I have a confession. I quit smoking 10 years ago. And then we went to a party and people were smoking cigars. And I was like, I'll smoke a cigar, sure. And then a week later, I was like, oh, you know what would be fun at this party? A cigar. And now I'm freaking smoking all the time again. And I was like, man, it gets you. It gets you. So I'm like, what the whole thing you just described is like me the last 3 months. I'm probably sharing this is too much information for our viewers, I'm sure, but this is what's, this is, I mean, Jayme. Okay. This is what always happens to me, right? Whenever I meet somebody and I say, oh, I'm an accountant, I do accounting. The first thing they want to do is ask me for tax advice, ask me about QuickBooks. How do I fix my thing, right? Have you found that when you share with people what you do, they're immediately just tell you all their problems?
I just naturally have a with people that even if I tell them what I do, they feel cool. I get them in all areas. I love hearing stories. So a lot of time, that's even how I lead into it. I ask people their story. I want to know what made them into they are today. I was going to be like a trivia digging brains. So I've already completely they had no idea. So that way, when they do tell me their problems, I was like, that all checks out.
Yep. Got it. I love that. That is so funny. Okay. Okay. Here's another thing I want to ask you about one of the other offerings you have. You guys, I love my job. I get to just interview people that I think are cool that I would want to hire for myself. Like, I want this stuff for myself here. 2-part course that helps you understand rest. Okay? Yeah. We don't ever hear people talking about rest. It's you sleep when you're dead and so you drink more caffeine, get a Red Bull, whatever. So can you share a little bit about what this course is about?
Absolutely. So it's actually interesting because I've changed my own perspective when it comes to the word burnout. I think burnout is bullcrap. It's a lack of boundaries, what it all boils down to, and you finally have reached a point that you now are giving things energy, and what they're giving you is now exhausting you. And part of it, I think, is because our society tells us I'll be happy when syndrome. When I finally make X amount of money, I can treat myself to this fantastic vacation. I can go to this spa experience. I can run away from my problems for a day. And when I come back, everything's going to be better. I'm going to give myself self-care. No. Yes, do all those things. But that's not where you're going to truly rest and be rejuvenated. And so in that's kind of what this course leads you into, and it's a lot of what I talk about just in all of my coaching and anybody that I meet with is like what's the intentionality that you have on how you're living like day after day. How much time are you allotting to truly sit with yourself and reflect on the day? What's working? What isn't working? What thoughts are you thinking? Spending your time with? How are you pouring back into yourself? How are you pouring back into others? Who are you letting pour back into you?
Yeah.
Like it's so much more of a different form of rest and care than the world itself.
Oh yeah.
And to me, that's the golden ticket to living a happier, healthier life.
Yep, I'm with it. That is so I turn 47 years old tomorrow.
Yeah.
And what I used to think a good day's work was, or I used to, when I first started my business 11 years ago, I could stay up all night to finish a project. I could lose sleep, once in a while and it not be the end of the world. But not anymore. Not anymore. And not only is it just not good for your health generally, it makes me bitter and resentful at my business. Right. And so if we're not taking time for that, for the self-care, for boundaries, for rest, it does. You're right. I like that you said that, like, burnout isn't a thing. It's a lack of boundaries or a lack of care, essentially. And you're so right, because if I say I'm burned out, I can blame it on the thing that's burning me out, right? I can now take responsibility off of myself and put it on my business or the house or my husband or whatever I say it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Because, we as humans love to put blame on other people.
Absolutely.
Or other things other than ourselves. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one who does that. Okay, I love it. So what would you say? So you've got some different courses, you do the coaching. What for you personally, like, what is your favorite way to work with people? What do you feel like, gives you the most juice and gives them the most juice?
Absolutely one-on-one.
Yeah.
You and I kind of talked about this offline.
Yeah.
So many coaches out there, which everybody has their own recipe or their secret sauce, if you will. Mine happens to be very much the one-on-one aspect because one, the trust is there. If the person is a good fit for me, the trust being I'm able to ask a lot of the right questions that will probably not really thought of, and that they can't find in the coaching setting. I am not against group coaching. It's just me on a one-on-one level. Like I'm getting part of someone that nobody else can see.
Yeah.
And that's where the true transformation can happen. It's just very fruitful.
Yeah. So people can probably feel like they can be more vulnerable. And really let that stuff out when it's one-on-one versus.
You can't like, I don't want to tread lightly when I say this, it doesn't necessarily mean a trauma situation, but we like to trauma bond, or we like to relate to somebody else. We're like, oh, I already have this cognitive bias, and as they're talking out their story or something they're struggling with, I'm going to latch and associate that to confirm my story. Where it's like with me, you don't get to do that because it's like I hear what you're saying and that makes sense. I'm going to challenge that.
Yeah.
So you can't live in this narrative that be the very thing that's keeping you stuck, you feeling overwhelmed. Kind of because a couple things I want to revert back to, if that's okay.
Yeah.
One question that I always like to ask people is, do you run your day or does your day run you?
Ooh.
And if you get to the end of your day, you're like, I don't even know what I did today. Your day ran you. So no wonder you're exhausted because you have no control truly on it because your calendar, you took over everything, and you just held on and survived the best that you could. Second thing, and this also kind of boundaries, rest, all of that. I've made posts a couple times where I was like, do Mondays suck or do you suck? Or do you suck? We're giving all of this credit to something else. Or are you acknowledging the part?
And this is what exactly.
So this is why I like to do the one-on-one work. I get a chance to fully challenge somebody's perspective. It's like what I have to say is right or wrong. I'm just introducing a new narrative or pattern to break up what it is that you're doing, and be like, maybe I do like that. Maybe I have been getting in my own.
I really like that. I think that my brain is going 1,000 miles an hour right now. I think that is so fascinating, and it makes me wonder. So, what do you do if you have somebody that you're coaching and they just will not listen to a different perspective, right? I had an old sponsor who used to say, consider the possibility of another possibility, right? Like we choose to take offense to certain things. We choose to take, whatever. Is it possible that that person didn't mean that, didn't say that, you took it the wrong way, whatever it is there a possibility? Have you worked with people who are just unwilling to look at themselves seriously, honestly, and change? And if you have, what do you do like to overcome that, or can you overcome
it? You can't teach somebody who doesn't want to be taught. That's like first and foremost. However, this is also why I re-qualify people through a discovery call, because if I acknowledge that, like if you're not coachable or teachable, it's a waste of my time and yours, and I don't feel right having you pay me money for something I can't assist with. If you're not in a headspace to learn. However, I have had, because I do work with a lot of type A's, especially my male clients. I've had a couple of them where I've had to like challenge their perspectives. But I think as a coach, where my role is in this, it's the way I'm asking the question. It's the tone attached to the way that I'm communicating those questions to them that is going to determine potentially if they're willing to receive the feedback I give them.
Yeah.
It's one first and foremost to ask for permission.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I challenge your perspective?
Yeah.
Can I help you consider another option or another perspective to this? But once I get permission, then that's proving that they're more open to actually receiving it. They tell me no, then it's solicited advice, and that's the advice you ever give. We're at a stalemate.
So rather than being like, you're wrong and this is how you should look at it, it's, would you be willing to consider it? And you kind of.
My job as a coach is not to, again, fix you. I also like, if I ask the right questions, you're going to direct yourself to the answers you already have.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one aspect of it. The other really cool thing about coaching, and it's the reason why I refuse to coach anybody in person. It is only virtual, even if they're right here in Austin.
Yeah.
I record the session. And I make clients watch the playback. And it makes them cringe because one, they don't like hearing themselves on camera, which to me is really, really bad. And I can just type it. But if you don't even want to look at the person or hear the person on the screen, no wonder you're not enjoying your life. Second, what's cool about it is, say you and I were working together right now, and I would be like, okay, Ericka, I hear you, and it makes a lot of sense of what you said.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden, I me? Why did your language switch? Why did your change? Go back and watch the video, and then you see for yourself. Like, oh dang, how that came out did not make as much sense as it did in my head. So that is the person the opportunity also make adjustments, like in a gym. If there's squat lower, you're not parallel. Yes, I am. They record you look at it, oh, no, I'm not. And now you'll fix it because you saw it for yourself.
Yeah. Yep. That is, as I was listening to you talk, I was thinking about how little communication training we get, right? Like if you're not raised in a household that knows how to have that conversation, and I don't know many who do, just thinking about that, my husband, there's been a couple times he'll be like, do you know why that conversation went off the rails? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you offended that person by saying this. And I was like, that's not offensive. That's just a statement of fact, and it doesn't blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, but you don't know that this person, has these feelings or had this happen. And therefore you just attacked their character without meaning to. And I'm like, and so I'm thinking about all of those opportunities for miscommunication, not only with other people, but with ourselves, right? If we don't have a good mindset or a way to reframe things, then we're going to have those same bad conversations with ourselves. We're going to upset ourselves. We're going to offend ourselves. And then it's a mind spiral.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, wow. Like, oh my God, it's amazing we all get along at all.
Yeah. So think of it too. What I find fascinating is how many people are willing to invest in a soccer coach, a math tutor, whatever for kids. But as an adult, all of a sudden they have figured out they don't need a coach. Which I think is silly because that's when life really doesn't make sense, right?
Yes.
And there's a whole world out there that we're trying to learn and grow as other people are trying to grow through it. And so that's where the deep level, we the trenches, walk through the beliefs, and all of that stuff. But as a high level, the boundaries in communication, like I have some communication hacks that I love to share with people. Like we Okay. We live in a world that already parents.
Yeah.
We're friends, we're spouses, we're business owners, co-workers, all of these things, right? We're trying to juggle so many different things to slow ourselves down like, okay, let me train myself on communication. Let me slow down enough to make my thought process, train and shit. Not many people are going, you know what? Let me pause on everything else in life, paying my bill, feeding my children. Let me just learn how to communicate. It's not to say the top it's again where I come in and be the blind spot. It's like let me coach you in lifetime so we can work through that, take new perspectives, and then you practice that on the people around you.
So what if, say for example, and you guys, this is so, Jayme, this is normally I'm done in like 20, 30 minutes and we're at 42 minutes. So I'm going to try to wrap it up here in the next couple of questions. Let's say I have a propensity to take the bait when people act disrespectfully. Right. Okay. So say, that is like one of my triggers, right? If people are disrespectful, it'll make me angry and I'll have an outburst. Is that the kind, like, do you help with things like that too? Like, what are the triggers? What are the things that always make you react instead of respond? Yes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So again, difference between like a therapist and a coach. Kind of at the I was saying.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for therapy for sure. To be able to unpack, understand who you are, how you got the learning behaviors that came with the NLP. If I do, I'm able to help a little bit with that too. But I will help. And it is not what those in the therapy realm do.
Yeah.
The way that I like to describe it is a therapist helps you with the why.
Right.
As a coach, I get to help you with the what.
See,
so it's like we are going to talk triggers. I'm not just leading with, well, let's enable this is a trigger because this is what happened and this is why I respond this way. No. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah.
How are we going to respond differently now that we have this vital piece of information?
And that's the thing. Like I've done therapy for years, for different periods of time for different things, and it's great. And I have a ton of self-knowledge, but it's the practice. It's breaking those habits. It's breaking those reaction patterns and learning to do something differently. So when you were talking about habits earlier, it made me think like our reactions are habitual. Our response, all of these things are habitual based on something. And so self-knowledge is great, but if I don't know how to act differently, or if I, like, what good is it?
Yes. We are not. Knowledge is not a problem. It is implementation of the knowledge that's the problem. I'm not here to teach somebody necessarily anything new. There might be a good that I could, but mine is to help enforce the action behind the knowledge you already have.
Oh, I love it. You know what? That's actually a perfect place to put a pin in it. We'll end there. Jayme Shiarla, Coach Jayme Shiarla, thank you so much for joining us on the I Love Your Money podcast. You guys, if you're watching and this sounds like something you need, check out the description. We've got her website, all her social medias in there, a little bio. Go check it out. Y'all, she's got a free, she'll talk to you for free, y'all, for 30 minutes to see if you're a good fit. And I mean, there ain't nothing better than free. Well, that's not true. But go to the website, go on home. There's this apply here to have a coaching call, 30-minute complimentary call with Coach Jayme. Check out her podcast, see what she's got to say. You guys, she's got Instagram, she's got Facebook. Go listen, go watch, go. What did we call it? Internet stalking?
Yeah, cyber stalking.
Cyber stalking. Go check out her stuff and see if it's a good fit, and give her a holler, because I know so much of what is wrong in the world right now is just mindset and thinking. And if we can just reframe, it'll just make things so much better, you guys.
Change
so
your thinking and it will change your life.
Amen. And on that note, you guys, we're going to end with a commercial for my book, Audit Armor. Thank you so much to Coach Jayme.
Thank you.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ericka. I'm a fractional CFO and also known as the Fixer. So if you are a small business owner and you're trying to understand your finances, or you're an entrepreneur and you know that you need to understand some things before you get started, Audit Armor, Fortifying Your Financials is an excellent for you. Grab your copy today, grab the freebies, and make sure to stay tuned because we've got some great webinars and other things for you.